This is a quick demonstration of how to make a pendulum and then animate it inside of Blender 5.1. So first of all, I'm starting with a basic cube in our 3D. Let's scale that down so it can be the top of my environment, or the top of the pendulum. And we'll move that up. There we go. Go to add, and let's add a cylinder. Let's scale that down. There we go. And move that up. Well, not yet. Let's not move that up yet. Next, let's add a UV sphere. Put that at the bottom and scale that down so it's a little smaller. Move it up so it's touching the tip of the cylinder here. I want to make that cylinder a little smaller. That looks better. All right, and then back here to our sphere, put that up there. We want the two to join, so I'm going to select both by holding down the Shift key and then Control J, and now these two objects are joined. Now I don't want the pivot, right now the pivot point is at the center of these two objects, and that's not going to work for a pendulum swing because the rotation needs to be off the top of this object. So instead, let's go up here to Edit Mode, and I'm going to select a face, and I want to just select the top of the object there. Good. And then we're going to Shift S. Oops. Shift S. And we're going to move the cursor to the selected. That's my 3D cursors now at the top of the pendulum part of the object. Let's go back to object mode, go to object, and I want to set the origin of this object to the 3D cursor. Now my rotation will happen at the top of the pendulum. Good. Let's move it up so that it's touching the top. There we go. Now the next thing we want to look at, what is our camera see? So the next thing I want to do is actually move my camera so it's on the XY axis instead of looking down at from a perspective view. So let's shift the camera view, turn the camera off there, and make it so that it is looking the direction I want it to be. So let's make the rotation of X to 90. And Z also to 90. I think that looks pretty good. And let's move that over. Now, my pendulum is going to swing on the Y-axis. Let's see how that looks. And then we can grab this whole thing, move this up. Let's rotate it just a little bit so it looks, well, I like that actually. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's move this up and we'll start it right there. I'm going to turn on the auto keying. Now, two other handy tools for working with an animation like this is your dope sheet. So let's bring the dope sheet up. And then we're also going to want to play with the graph editor so that it looks really, really good. So I'm going to open up Graph Editor as well. There we go. Next thing we want to do is change our output. I'm only going to do 2 seconds, so 48 frames. And let's adjust both of these by scaling. There we go. Get everything scaled so that we're looking at everything the same way. Good. All right. Now, currently, I have not set anything in my timeline. So, but the keyframing is on. So all I need to do is just make one little move to this. And now we've got you can see it's now showing up in all three areas because a keyframe has been created in the timeline. So it's also showing in my dope sheet as well as my graph editor. Our goal for this project is to show follow through. So what's going to happen as this object's moved? Well, let's jump over and let's say it takes half a second to get to the other side of the view here. So I'll move this over to here. Now what's going to happen inside of that view during that time period? Because we've got automatic interpolation happening here, which is really lovely. But I want to change the cylinder and its rotation as it starts. So here on frame, let's do this on 2. So I'm going to go to frame 3, and it's going to start to swing back as the object moves, right? Because of follow through. So there we get a nice, oh, well, apparently I didn't set the cylinder action correctly in frame 1. So let's shift that back. There, that looks good. Now, there we go. Oh, that looks, I like that. And then we go to the frame 12. Now what's going to happen on frame 14 as the platform comes to a stop? The object, the pendulum, is going to swing back the other way, and we'll go ahead and go on over here to 15. Go a little further. There we go. Now what's going to happen next? It's going to swing back, right? If the platform has stopped. But let's say the platform hasn't stopped. Let's select the whole thing again. Oops. Not what I wanted. I wanted both objects. There we go. And I'm going to swing it back here to the middle. Maybe it's moving. Whoops. I did not mean to do that because I had not changed what frame I was working on. So let's go over here to frame 24. So we've traveled a full second now, and I'm going to move it back here to the middle. It's moving a little more slowly this time. So the pendulum is not going to swing quite as far. And let's bring that back a little bit. And then what's going to happen next? It's going to swing back, and each time it'll go a little less. So there we have that. Now look over here on your graph editor. This is showing all the location of the objects. We're actually only moving things on, or the cylinder action is all that we're really concerned about. So I don't need to see the location of X, Y, and Z, nor am I interested in the Z. Let's zoom out. I'm using my middle mouse button to scroll this out a little bit. And here we've got controls for how quickly the object is going to move inside of this. Let's open that up a little bit more so we can see that a little better. Now this is how we can control slow in and slow out. By how quickly does the object move, and we can use these control bits to change how quickly something goes into effect. So this is for the end of the first movement. And I can scroll back over here, and you can see that impacts the pendulum swing on how quickly it's affected by the movement. So slow in and slow out is easily edited using your controls here. You have the ability to change how the controls are or how your handles are worked by right-clicking on them, and you can go down here to handle type. You can have free, which the two then are not impacted by each other. You can change your handle type to give you more control. So if I wanted to change this handle, and as you can see, as I'm adjusting this, I've actually grabbed the keyframe and I'm moving the keyframe inside the environment. Probably don't want to do that. At least not that much. Let's see if I can get the other handle. There we go. There's the handle. and you can control then, and you can zoom in if you need to see the handles a little more clearly. So you can adjust what's happening on those. That's how to use the graph editor. It takes a little bit of practice, but it will dramatically improve what's happening inside of your animation. So I look forward to seeing what you create.